A lot of the times when we don't feel ready to shift to the next chapter of our lives, when we think that right now is not the time to make a jump, that's usually when it's time to make a jump. When we feel like right now is not the time, when we feel like, why should I make this jump now? Is this really the right time to make the jump? Is this really when I should be stepping into this new chapter? Usually when we have thoughts like that, when we have stories like that playing in our minds, that's usually when it's time to make the jump. Oftentimes we can feel in our hearts that even though logically it doesn't make sense to make that jump, we can feel in our hearts that it's time. We can feel in our hearts that this is the time to make that jump. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, I can actually feel when a chapter is waiting for me. I can actually feel when there's something waiting for me and this chapter of my life is coming to a close and there's a new chapter opening up very soon. And we can actually resist that sometimes. We can fight against the fact that there's a new chapter waiting for us. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 signs that you're about to shift to a new chapter in your life, even though you might not feel like you're ready. You might not think that now is the time. You might feel like this is not the time to make the jump, but your soul and your heart knows that it is time to make that jump. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 signs that is happening to you. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. So the first sign that you're about to shift to a new chapter in your life, even though you might not feel like you're ready, is a feeling of heaviness. It's a very strong feeling in your body, like this current situation that you're in is just increasingly getting heavier and heavier and heavier, and there's more resistance as time goes on. There's a feeling of heaviness that is getting stronger each day, even though part of you wants to stay, part of you wants to hold on. There's a part of you that is clearly showing you that it's becoming more heavy to be in this circumstance. It's becoming more heavy to continue on with whatever it is that you're doing. And this is what happens when we're about to shift to a new chapter, is the current phase that we're in is going to start to have more resistance. The current phase that we're in is not going to feel so good. There's going to be more resistance in our bodies. There's going to be a feeling of, I have to get out of here as soon as possible. Now, of course, there's going to be a part of you that wants to stay, that wants to hold on, that's going to create a story around why I should still be here, why I shouldn't make that shift. But your soul knows it's time because the heaviness is getting stronger. Maybe you're in a career path and you know that it's time to shift. You know that despite what your mind is telling you, what your ego is constructing, it's way too heavy to be in this environment. It's way too strong of an energy that's very negative to stay where I'm at right now. It could be impacting your health, it could be impacting your emotions, it could be impacting your overall state of being. Maybe it's a career path, maybe it's a friendship you have to let go of. But the key is that you feel such a strong feeling of heaviness and you just know that it's time. You know that it's time to shift to the next chapter. And I'm not here to tell you what to do with your life, but oftentimes your soul will know that it's time. And so I'm not here to tell you to take action on that heaviness. I'm just here to tell you that in my experience, I've noticed that when the heaviness gets stronger and stronger and stronger, it's time to shift to a new level. This is what happened to me when I used to study software at school. it just became so heavy to be in that environment. It was such a burden to be in school doing something that was obviously out of alignment. It was so obviously out of alignment, but my mind wanted to attach and stay in this thing that was obviously not for me. And there's a lot of things happening in my life right now where it's showing me it's time to move on to the next chapter. And you may be going through something right now where it's time to move on. It's time to let go because it's becoming too heavy to be where you're at right now. That's a huge sign. Increasing. It's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger until you can't take it anymore. And it's time to move on to the next chapter of your life. Now, the second sign is that you're thinking a lot about something else that can fill that situation that you're in. Now, oftentimes when we're letting go of something, when we're shifting to a new chapter, when we're shifting to a new phase, we are completely stepping into the unknown. We're completely stepping into a phase of like, I don't really know where I'm headed right now. I don't really understand where this is going to take me. I don't really understand where this is going to go. But sometimes we can have some idea. We don't know how it's going to happen. We don't know what exactly that idea looks like completely, but we have some idea. And you may be overly thinking about something else in your life that can be filled instead of that thing that you're stuck in right now. And if you're feeling that, and you're thinking a lot about something else that could fill that gap that you're about to let go of, that's a huge sign that you're about to shift a new chapter. It's like you can feel it in your soul. You're thinking so much about this thing. It's like when I was dropping out of school, I just kept thinking like, oh my gosh, I want to, record these videos. And I didn't know that it was going to lead to, me being a coach and doing a lot of things that I'm doing right now. But I did continually just keep thinking about, my videos. It was just a thought in my mind. It was like YouTube. It was like videos. Just kept thinking about it. And if you have something that you're thinking about continually, like your whole day, you're just thinking about these things in your life. You're thinking about something else, and maybe you don't. Maybe you have no idea. That's okay too. So if this sign doesn't apply to you, that's totally okay. But it could just be any kind of thoughts about anything. It could literally be a thought about anything. And if you're just having this feeling and you're just like if you're putting so much thought into something else in your life, obviously that's what your soul wants. Your soul obviously wants to step into that direction. Your soul obviously is calling you to go in that direction. If you're thinking about it over and over and over and over, and you just keep putting so much thought energy into this thing that you know is going to be better than the phase that you're in right now, then that's a pretty big sign that you're about to shift to a new chapter. It's like, it seems simple and it seems kind of cliche, but like if you're putting that much thought, if you're putting that much energy into something else, I would follow that if I was you. I would go into that. And it might be scary. It might seem like now is not the time. It might seem like right now is not the time to step into this. But what I found in my life is that no matter how heavy it might seem, if you're thinking so much about something else, think about the lightness that thing will bring you. Usually when we have that thought, it can create a lot of anxiety, even thinking about that and stepping into that space. But like, there's also a part of us that knows it's going to be so much lighter to be in that reality. It's going to be so much lighter to step into that thing that you're thinking about on a consistent basis. Part of you wants to stay where you're at. Part of you doesn't want to shift into that new reality. But part of you knows that that thing you're thinking about, that thing you're feeling into, even though you don't know exactly what it looks like, you're thinking about something. If you're thinking about something, even if it's just a rough idea and you don't have a plan, maybe you have no plan at all, that's okay too. but this is just something that can apply to people sometimes. That's a clear sign that you're about to shift to a new chapter. And think about the lightness that will come into your experience when you actually follow that thing. Think about how much heaviness will be removed when you follow that thing. It's going to be beautiful. So I'm not telling you what to do, but I would just investigate that a little bit deeper. If you're thinking about that thing, maybe that's what your soul should go towards right now. Third sign is that despite all this heaviness, all this heavy energy, all this resistance, all this uncertainty, all this, I don't know where I'm headed right now, I don't know, and this is how it is sometimes when we're going on the spiritual awakening path. We can feel so much uncertainty when we're shifting to the next level of our life, when we're shifting to that next chapter. But despite all of that, despite all that heaviness that we just faced in this video, despite all that resistance that you may be going through right now, despite all those mixed emotions around should I stay, should I go to the next level, should I do this, you have a deep knowing in your heart that all is well, that there's nothing to worry about. There's a part of your mind that wants to construct that story. I fall into that all the time. Sometimes we just have to let those patterns play out. But despite those patterns, despite that resistance, despite these things coming up to the surface, you have a deep knowing in your heart and in your soul that all is well. And that if you take that leap of faith, it's not going to be some trust and some mystical thing. It will be. But it's also going to be very practical and you're going to find a way to get the resources that you need to make that thing work. It's like when I was dropping out of school, I didn't know how I was going to make my money back, but I just knew that it was going to work. I invested in a mentor. I did certain things that were scary. And right now I'm even going through a shift in my life too. And it's almost like there's a pattern on this journey where you have to keep stepping up into the unknown. You have to keep shifting to the new chapter. But despite all the heaviness that comes up, you just know that all is well. You just have a feeling in your heart where you know it's all going to work out for the best. You know that it's going to be for your highest alignment. There may be challenges. There may be uncertainty. There may be times where we don't know where we're going to go, how it's going to work out. But despite all of that, we can feel and have a knowing and a trust that it's all going to work out. So if any of these signs apply to you, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and share this video with a friend. As always, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video. Also, have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.